What's going on, guys? It's your boy John Liquidator coming back with another video. So it looked like Connecticut Sun reporters is not happy that Stephanie White took the Indiana Fever coaching job and the fans ain't playing no games. For this one here, we got to go to Connecticut. Let's get it. Let's go. Now, this one right here caught me by surprise. I had been seeing little snippets of these clips going viral, but I didn't think it was anything negative or anything derogatory towards Stephanie White or the Indiana Fever organization. That is until this article came out pretty much this morning, letting everybody know, no, they meant like kind of harm talking about Stephanie White leaving the Connecticut Sun, and like they kind of bitter about it, bro, in a sense. But like I thought people would be happy that she's decided to come join Caitlin Clark. She get to go back home. She get to coach the best player in the W right now, and it's just a popping situation. Well, it don't look like it's that way dealing with the Connecticut Sun media because reporters is not happy about it. They did a sit down interview, and let's go over this article, man. Y'all gotta hear this. This is crazy. I'm telling you this right now. It says, move on, talk basketball. Fan slam Tarika Foster claim on Stephanie White ending Fever faithful negatively. Now, those of you guys know that she was the Connecticut Sun head coach. Now, it stated Connecticut Sun sideline reporter Tarika Foster shared her thoughts on the Indiana Fever hiring of Stephanie White as the new coach, and the Sun parted ways despite back-to-back semifinals appearance. She took over the Christie Sides, who was dismissed after leading the Fever to their first playoff berth since 2016. Now, here is the video right here of, Tarika Foster speaking about this whole Stephanie White situation. And I'm telling you right now, this is very interesting. And we finna dive into it right here, right now, man. Roll the footage.
Tarika, that a coach you know pretty well was their target, which confused some of us because that coach was still under contract. But lo and behold, when the announcement came out, it was indeed Stephanie White, the now former head coach of the Connecticut Sun. She accepted an offer to be the Indiana Fever's new head coach.
Now, you guys remember last week when I was telling you guys how Stephanie White had that buyout? That's what they probably finna talk about, is how could they get her when she was still under contract for that 1 year. They bought her out, bro. Any coach could get bought out of their contract as long as the other organization got the money for the buyout. Roll the footage.
Coach, and so she will be heading back to Indiana because that's where she has roots. She played there as a player. She coached in Indiana before as an assistant and a head coach. And now she's returning again to be the head coach of this new iteration of the Indiana Fever. Tarika, tell me, what do you make of all of this? We sort of knew when the final official announcement came, so it wasn't a shock. But when you first started hearing that Steph may be leaving to head to Indiana, what do you make of all of this?
Well, at first I was like, well, wait, are we sure that Steph wants to leave? There have been conversations that she considered signing an extension with Connecticut. Like, there were a bunch of things that we had been hearing around her from a local perspective. But one thing that Steph White has always said was that family is always going to be important to her. No matter what decision is made, it is always going to make sure that it makes sense for her family. Even with coming to Connecticut in 2023, it was, does this make sense for my family? She had often said, I didn't even know if I was going to even get back into coaching after Vanderbilt. Number one, I didn't even know if I wanted to. But number two, it has to make sense for myself and my family. Well, immediately after the finals, or maybe even during the finals, there was some form of an emergency that was going on with her family. It caused her to push back her exit interview with the Connecticut Sun. And then even during the interview that she did have, you could visibly see that she was upset. Her partner, Lisa Salters, had also missed a few weeks on Monday Night Football, which is something that was also very uncommon. So you could see that there was something familial that was going on that took precedence. And so because of that, this decision wasn't just solely, I want to leave Connecticut, which, to be clear, there was no firing. I've seen some headlines that have said, Connecticut dismissed her and all this other stuff. That is not what happened.
Right.
It was a mutual agreement to separate. And Jen Rosati had said, we wish that we could have kept her, but I understood the scenario. So this is home for her, right? She grew up in Indiana. She was Miss Indiana basketball in 95. She won a national championship with Purdue in 1999, the only championship they have under Coach Carolyn Peck. She, again, as you mentioned, played basketball for the Fever for 5 years, was an assistant coach, took over the team in 15-16, won a championship with them as an assistant in 2012. So this was a homecoming situation. And you can see that the team is also very excited about having Stephanie White at the helm.
Yeah, we can see that they are very excited. When the news dropped, look, you can see her resume here. It's very impressive resume. She's been a head coach. She's been an assistant. She played, you listed out some of her accolades already. We also know she's in the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. So Stephanie White is very well accomplished. This is known about her. It's one of the reasons why the Indiana Fever were pursuing her. Many of the members of the team posted about it immediately. Aaliyah Boston, some of the players, they're all putting up in their Instagram story, but Caitlin Clark had quite the reaction to it. She put it in her Instagram story. She also commented on a post. She was just super excited about, at least based on her Instagram comments, seems very excited to be having Steph White coming to the team. And so obviously there's a three-headed monster currently in Indiana, but we do know for purposes of the Fever, everything sort of starts with Caitlin Clark. So how important is it for Steph to, at least what it appears, have her buy-in, Tarika?
Well, yeah, it's incredibly important to have the buy-in of your young stars, and having Caitlin Clark support this move is very important, because one thing that you want to always have is you want to have the trust of your players. That's what made it work in Connecticut, is that she had the trust of that team. And I think when you have certain characteristics, like being a former player, like being a former champion, all of those things make sense. Well, add to that Stephanie White also, even as she had mentioned, had been watching Caitlin play since she was in 8th grade. She had been keeping up with her games. Stephanie White also dubs as a broadcaster when she's not coaching. And so Stephanie White had called several of her games at Iowa before. So there was already a familiarity between these two. And so there's already that trust that she has for what Stephanie White can bring, what Stephanie White can do. And I think that's important. It's not only important just as a young star in this league to want to be coached by someone who you have a profound respect for, but I also think it brings a little something different. Stephanie White will bring a little something different to this team, which is going through a complete overhaul already. I mean, they have a new general manager in Amber Cox. They have a new, well, I won't say new, but the original president and GM, Kelly Kloskopf, is back. Lynn Dunn is now taking an advisory role. So you can see that this organization is serious about where it believes the future of this organization can be. I think making those moves show your young stars that they are serious about where they want the future of this organization to be. You have a free agent in Kelsey Mitchell. This kinds of things, help to make a decision about wanting her to stay and having her to stay along. She had one of the best seasons of her careers last year. You have to think under Stephanie White, that can only get better. Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston.
Much the interview that took place a few days ago with Tarika Foster, speaking about the Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White situation. Now, there was a lot more that was said in this interview. Highly recommend you guys recommend you guys go find it. I will link it down in the comment section below so you guys can check it out in its entirety. I'm telling you right now, the fans was not happy about this interview. They immediately got in the comment section and let them have it. Let's pull it up right now. There's a Jim Carrey movie that describes these two, D&D, LOL, for real, for real. Adam Silvers needs to clean house. Remember, they get paid by the W to be analysts. They know nothing about W. Clearly, the same white that said they're your trolls and should be treated as such, dumb and dumber. Exactly within 3 years, the WNBA will be unrecognizable. A success push all the heads out. And yeah, man, as you guys can see here, the fans went on and on and on speaking about these two young ladies in regards to them talking about the current situation with the Indiana Fever. But I want to know your thoughts down in the comment section about this interview. Keep them bells on, because you know I'm going to bring you the news. And until next time, man, shake the haters off. I'm out of here, baby. Peace out. Shake the haters off.